I gotta go live right away, man. This is crazy, man. I couldn't get on. I could not get on. Hopefully, you guys see me. Welcome to the breakdown episode 652, sponsored by Gemini. I can't play the commercial because I've been trying to get on here. Okay, half an hour, more than a half an hour. I've been trying to get on here. This is crazy. Well, let's run through the news real quick, and then we'll get right to all the stories. Shout out to everybody tuning in from Twitter. That's all. I'm not calling it X no more. Shout out to everybody tuning in from Twitter. Shout out to everybody tuning in from TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to TikTok over there chilling. Everybody's a bit scared, right? Everybody's a bit fucking worried. Everybody's worried, man. Been getting these calls. Oh my God, what do you think's gonna happen? Trump's at it again with the tariffs. The tariff talk. Okay. Let's go right into crypto. Let's go right into crypto. Bitcoin broke below 90K, trading around 88, 89, but now it's in the 87,000 range. Crypto extends its sell-off today with Bitcoin reportedly, not even reportedly, but reporting that it's under $88,000 now. Again, this is part of the macro-driven risk-off move, not just some random crypto weakness. Look, Bitcoin's not dead. It got hit by the same macro hammer, slashing everything right now, and that goes for any market right now. So you got the EU that essentially said that they're suspending trade with the United States of America. By the way, fuck the EU. Honestly, that's how I'm feeling. Fuck the EU, man. Fuck the EU. I see Mooney's talking about a 4-year cycle, man. There is no 4-year cycle. I love you, man. That's done. I said, I will keep on saying this, Q1 2026, you will see the rise of crypto. The rise of all markets, essentially. But let's specifically talk about crypto. You will see the rise of crypto like never before, as my boy Trump would say. But one thing I don't like, by the way, before we move forward, is I don't want to see this bill passed. I don't want them to pass this bill at all. Like, I do not like the Clarity Act bill. I am against it because if you read it, it's pretty much written out for the banks. It's not written out for retail at all. Even Eric Trump, live from the land of mountains, this man went ahead and said the same exact thing that I've been saying. Like, this shit is being written out for the banks. Because the banks are scared. The banks are scared of Bitcoin. They're scared of crypto in general. They're scared of digital assets. They're scared at the fact that the people, the very people that are tuned into this show, that you will have an opportunity to do whatever the fuck you want, as it should be. The freedom to transact, as it should be. But no. The banks don't want that. The banks do not want you to have the freedom to transact. The banks want to use your money to go ahead and trade. And what good is it if you are moving your money on a Saturday when they cannot take your money and trade with it? They want to kill DeFi. They literally, with this bill, the banks are basically, of course they're aligned. The banking system is aligned because it essentially kills retail. It essentially kills DeFi. I don't know if Trump, this is the only, hey, listen, you guys, unlike you other guys out there who are up Biden's ass and up your party's ass, I'm gonna call it right now. Like, Trump, have you read this fucking bill? Have you read this Clarity Act bill that they have out there? I don't want it to pass. I'd rather not have a bill. I'd rather have it like this right now than pass that bill, because passing that bill means nothing. I was asked just now, when am I going to interview a powerful female in this space? I've interviewed a lot of women. I've interviewed a lot of women. I have, what is this, episode 652? We have interviewed a lot of women on this channel. On this show, a lot of women. Now, are there more men being interviewed than women? Absolutely, because still till this day, this is a male-driven market ecosystem, and I can't do nothing about it. I can't do nothing about it. But I brung on a lot of women. And the women that I like bringing on are one that are intelligent, they understand, they know what the fuck they're talking about. Just look at the interview with Perianne Boring. Now you want to look at somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about, just replay that show. Replay that show. And you know what? Make sure my editing team has a clip out there of me and Perianne Boring talking about regulation. And she mentioned this. She mentioned this. We need to, hey, clip team, we need that shit out there. She mentioned this. And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is that the women, I've always said this, that the women in this space are way more mature than the men. I will leave myself out of that equation because I believe that I am mature, but I believe that the women in this space are way more mature than the men in this space, 100%. Everybody that you're naming, I've had Wendy O on, I've had Miss Teen Crypto on, I've had everybody on. The clip is on. Shoot, you know what? I'll put more of these clips on TikTok. By the way, shout out to the TikTok. The TikTok crowd is more aggressive than the Twitter crowd, which is very surprising. I think the Twitter crowd is more laid back than the TikTok crowd. So shout out to TikTok, you're winning me. Shout out. Shout out to the TikTok crowd. But all right, let's get right back to it, man. See, I try to answer everybody's fucking questions. I try to answer everybody's fucking questions as best as I can. All right, ETF flows flip negative. The streak snapped. One market report says spot Bitcoin ETFs saw outflows on January 20th, ending a multi-day inflow streak. Another report highlights that IBIB. What is my dog fucking barking about, man? IBIT saw modest inflows into the dip on January 20th, showing some buyers are still stepping in. Translation, basically, guys, flows got messy. Some institutions backed off while the strongest hands are nibbling. For real, man. For real. I can tell that my goddamn, the problem is probably coming from my goddamn internet today. I don't know what is happening. Maybe that whole thing is true. Maybe that whole thing is true that they're talking about, that this winter storm is going to knock out power. That's wild. That is wild. Yeah, my dogs are pissed off about the Clarity Act. I'm pissed off about it. I don't want it to pass. I do not want this bill to pass. I've read it. I don't want it. Don't want it. I'd rather it be as it is right now. If it's not the same thing that we were trying to pass before, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. 0 cents. Unless you're front running the market, which still doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Be right back after this commercial break. Let me see what the hell's happened. And this commercial break is sponsored by Gemini. Go to Gemini.com/David G for more on the lineup of credit cards that Gemini has to offer, all issued by WebBank. You got the Bitcoin credit card, the XRP credit card, and the Solana credit card. Check it out. Get up to 4% back on your purchases. Gemini.com/David G. All right. All right, at 12. Damn it. Thank you, chat. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. That was Gemini. Go to Gemini.com/David G to look at the lineup of credit cards that Gemini has to offer. You got the Bitcoin credit card, you got the XRP credit card, and you got the Solana credit card. Up to 4% back in your purchases. So go ahead, check that out. All issued by WebBank. Gemini.com/David G. I am going to fire the staff immediately. Don't worry about it after this show. I don't even think it's their fault, but I'm going to fire them for no reason. You guys are asking me who's the guest for today. At 12:45, you shall see the man. And we'll go ahead and chop it up about the markets. But yeah, like I said before we went to commercial break, I don't like the Clarity Act right now, the way it's written. It's not the same Clarity Act that we had written out. Trump talked about it today in Davos that can't wait to go ahead and pass these bills and all this stuff, but like has he read it? And this is the first time I'm kind of, you guys know, like I'm always saying what a hell of a job he's doing, but I got to call it out. Even Eric Trump came on to CNBC and said, what is this crap? And that's only because the banking system's scared. They're scared. They don't want peer-to-peer transactions to be taking place without them. They're off on Saturdays and Sundays. They wouldn't be able to trade your money. Anyway, it's 12:44 p.m. We're gonna bring in this guy. I've been trying to get this guy on for a very long time. I think it's been like a month and a half. I think my staff has tried to get him for a month and a half, but he's here, so no complaining. I like that he showed up. Let's bring in Coach JV. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Honored to be here.
I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure the TikTok crowd knows you very well. They're all in my room right now asking me, who's the guest? Who's the guest? I'm like, I'm sure they'll like Coach coming on here.
Awesome.
How's everything? You've looked at the markets today, or have you've
Not really.
just like shied away?
Yeah, I don't watch the markets every single day, man. I'm a long-term investor, very strategic, very systematically disciplined. So yeah, I mean, I saw the market down today, but yeah, I've been just kind of flowing with it, and so I kind of operate in macro and microeconomic cycles versus market cycles. So yeah.
What do you think's happening right now that the market is, Bitcoin broke basically 90,000 is at 87. What do you think's happening there?
I think people are panicking. I think people are looking at the Clarity Act that's happening, the change in the economic system. You see with silver and gold at an all-time high right now. So people are they're panicked. People are in analyst paralysis. Everybody thought the crypto market was going to be extremely bullish in 2025. Since April, the tariffs in 2025, it's been absolutely sideways. So I think people are just getting skittish. They're getting scared. They're not really looking at the big picture. So with Bitcoin being the most liquid asset, they keep pulling, keep going back and forth, the Clarity Act. So I think it's just a lot of emotion that we're seeing right now, but I'm very bullish on 2026. So, I heard you talking about Trump and the things happening with Trump. And I think we're going to see a pretty bullish economy in 2026. And I feel like the crypto market got decoupled from that 4-year cycle, in my opinion.
Speaking of the 4-year cycle, do you believe in the 4-year cycle?
Not anymore. Not anymore. I did before because, we followed it based on the 4-year cycle about 18 months after. We should have been in the bull run in September, October, November. All these price predictions were coming out. Everybody thought they're going to be multimillionaires. They were all sadly mistaken in around that. But what happened was is obviously it seems like it got decoupled and now it's operating more with macro microeconomics, which is my specialty. That's what I focus on is long macroeconomic cycles. I focus on inflationary pressures and I move my money based on that. And so I feel that now crypto with, well, I heard you talking about the Clarity Act, with crypto becoming normalized, coming into the traditional banking system, I feel like now crypto is more following the macro and microeconomic pressures versus the 4-year cycle pressures.
Coach, why would we pass a clarity bill or act that is specifically now tailored to the banking system and not towards us?
You know, it's interesting. So, and I'm going to paraphrase this big time, and I won't, I'm going to get it as accurate as I can. But David Schwartz said it this way. I remember when I first got into XRP, people are calling it the banker coin, right? Everybody's like the banker coin. You're getting into the banker coin. They were like getting into Bitcoin. Then I got into Bitcoin. Everybody in the XRP community started yelling at me because I got into Bitcoin, right? And so I remember David Schwartz saying one time, he said, because at that time I think 5% of the population had exposure to crypto. So he said, do you think the 5% are going to convert the 95%, or are we going to go where the 95% are? So I was an ex-banker, I was a VP at a bank. What we're seeing is a systematic change in the banking system from centralized to decentralized, and the banks are absolutely panicking right now. They're like, wait a minute, Coach JB can go on to USD1, he can have USD1, and he can transact with David immediately peer to peer. And so they're in a absolute panic right now. That's what's happening. They want to build the rails so they can participate in it. But what we are seeing is a fragmentation of that centralized system. I mean, all these things happening with Trump. I do agree with you in regards to, I don't think the Clarity Act is in favor of people who are wanting decentralization in regards to that, but I don't think people are going to stop the freight train of actual banking coming into it. Like David Schwartz said, crypto is going into the traditional banking. Traditional banking is coming into crypto. And so I think it's a merging of the systems, and they're just trying to figure out how to protect their margins. That's what I believe is happening.
You're big on XRP. Tell me why.
Huge. My banking experience. So I operate like a Warren Buffett style investor in crypto. I operate in my zone of competency, and so I was completely anti crypto. I left banking and I went on this crazy entrepreneurial journey. I've been at this since about 2017, and I was anti crypto. And somebody walked into I have a couple companies. One of them's Warrior Academy next door, and somebody's like, "Have you ever heard of XRP?" And I'm like, what's XRP? He's like, it's a crypto. Immediately I was turned off, immediately turned off. And then so I pulled it up, and my story is like a phoenix rising from the ashes. The first thing I saw was this phoenix rising from the ashes. And I kind of had this emotional connection to it. And then I went to CBA Executive Banking School. So when I dove into the technology, I'm like, the first thing I said was, why aren't banks using this? And then I started going deeper into it because I understand Nostra Vostro, all the liquidity tied up in the system. And when I started to see the actual utility, I was fully bought in. And so went heavy into XRP, and then it's just been my really understand. It's basically my understanding of the banking system and how infrastructure runs and how liquidity runs through the system. And I've just been a big fan for a long time. It's my number one holding by a long shot. So, but also too, I became very tribal in it, just being honest. And I felt the tribalism was destroying my ability to look broader and see what's actually out there. And then I started getting into Bitcoin, and then I got crushed by the XRP community for getting into Bitcoin. I'm like, wait a minute, man, these are just assets. So I stopped being tribal about it, and I started being more macro and microeconomic about it in regards to what's actually happening in the system. And so I branched out from crypto. I got into many different asset classes and built an ecosystem. So I got into it because somebody walked in my facility and introduced me to it, and I was able to see the utility versus the get rich quick, the scam things in crypto, and I was able to see the true utility, and I've stuck with it. I believe in it in my heart of hearts that XRP is going to be one of the greatest missed investments of our lifetime.
I'm just like you, Coach. I've been holding XRP, and I get shit I got shit from the Bitcoin community from going into XRP or even Ethereum, and then you get shit from the army for going and telling anybody that. I'm like, this is not a sporting event here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not.
Yeah, well,
there's no teams here, man.
Yeah, I gotta. So this is where I got the most shit. So I'm very strict on my exit plans. I'm not married to these asset classes. I have a committed what's called capital DR. So I exit the markets and I go into defensive mechanisms. I go into defense. I have offensive, which is the markets go up and down. I move into defense, waiting for blood in the streets, and I go back in. Well, when I exited at $2.70 when Trump got elected, people went nuts on me. I mean, I exited a portion of my portfolio. I'm holding 50% forever, but I took some off the table and I'm very open. I was like, hey guys, I just exited $2. People went nuts. You should see the comments. What are you doing? And then 10, 10, 20, 25 collapsed and I bought a bunch more XRP. So, I'm not married to these asset class, but I'm not foolish either. I hold 50% long term of these, but I think people get so caught up and so tribal in an asset class and they can't see broader than what's in front of them. And I think that's where a lot of people get hurt in these industries.
Why do you think there's so much hate towards the XRP community? Because I feel like the XRP community does get a ton of disrespect from the entire ecosystem.
I think it could be the deep
Is that alignment with the banks? Do you think that's
No, I think it's the deep-rooted conviction that people have around XRP, and I really believe that because people that are in and I love XRP, and I have a
yeah?
lot of conviction in it. There's nobody that can convince me. Like, I said to somebody, people will always want me to come on, and I don't I'm kind of a post and ghost guy. I post, and I'm in my little ecosystem here, my little world, right? And so I don't do a lot of interviews, and I don't do a lot of people want to debate me all the time. Now, if somebody brought me on and debated around the intricacy of XRP, right, and the technology, I would get destroyed, right? But understanding the functionality and the systematic shift macroeconomically, it's like Warren Buffett, right? He is probably one of the number one investors in iPhones, but he doesn't even have an iPhone.
Correct.
That makes sense. And so I think what happens is there's that part of it, the investment part. Then there's a tribalism where people get so angry in the XRP community and Bitcoin community when somebody posts something. And for me, it's like, I'm just posting what I know based on my zone of competency and my truth, right? And when people attack, I just think it's the attacking nature of it and the tribalism around it. And I think that hurts the communities, to be honest with you. I really think it does. I think that people should express what they're doing and also understand there's things outside of that as well. Like when I got into Bitcoin, I was getting a lot of pressure from the XRP community around Bitcoin. Why are you talking about it? I'm like, because I'm investing in it. That's why I'm talking about it. Why wouldn't I talk? You know what I'm saying? So it's like Bitcoin, and then people go back and forth. And yeah, the banker coin was the first thing. Then I got into Bitcoin. And then I was, they always they attach it to something. I'm like, hey, do you guys use the US dollar? And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, it's a Ponzi scheme. So I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm a pretty peaceful dude. I'm pretty calm, pretty stoic. I just kind of stay in my lane. But I do see it out there, but I really don't engage in it. So yeah, I don't know why people are like that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I get the whole tribal stuff, but
Mhm.
I don't understand. Again, I go back to it. This is not a sporting event. Everybody came here for the most part, people came here for gains, and but then you stick around for the most part because the tech is revolutionary.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but people, hey man, I'm not gonna convince anybody otherwise. You do what you want to go ahead and do.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think it's good too, though. I think it's the community is badass. I mean, people are like, it's conviction. I mean, 90% of people in my communities are XRP people. And so I love the community, man. It's been awesome. And here's one cool thing is that I've gone to a lot of the events. And when I meet people, man, they're cool, down to earth. I love God. I follow Jesus Christ. I'm pretty open about that. And so a lot of people I meet have a very, yeah, and there's a lot of people that are devout Christians, and there's a bigger purpose, and people are wanting to help humanity with their profits in XRP. That's what I've really enjoyed about it. Um, I won't talk about any other communities, but it's a pretty powerful community. I really like the people. I think it's more of my tribe, which I like. But they are in the end, they are just investments. So
which, if you don't mind,
mhm.
which other ISOs are you in?
So I have XRP, be XLM, HBAR, and those would be my top three. Yep. So my top four are XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI. I get a lot of shit for that, and Solana. So those are my top four now. And I'm actually consolidating. I'll keep my XLM, but right now I'm fully going into XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, and Solana. That's the only ones I'm accumulating right now.
Why'd you make those choices?
So XRP will always be my number one bag, actually for our treasury as well. So we have our companies have treasuries, XRP and Bitcoin treasuries. So we model the same thing. XRP will always be my number one holding just because of my zone of competency. I really understand it from being in banking. Bitcoin, we use it. I'll never sell my Bitcoin. I use it as a store of value. I mean, my Bitcoin's been growing 50% every year. I'm crushing inflation with it. So I use it as a hedge against the collapsing US dollar, which that's a whole nother conversation. That's my expertise. And then Solana, I love it as a layer one. I was in the documentary XRP Unleashed rig from the start. So probably the worst financial decision I ever made. I closed out all my Ethereum into Solana. So that was a personal bias decision. I always tell people, even our treasury owns Ethereum. I don't own it. Then WLFI, like, I'm a capitalist. I like Trump. I like, like what he's doing out there in the world. And I am very big on connecting the dots, right? You got the dads that are writing the rules. You got Donald Trump. You got Howard Lutnick. You got Steve Witkoff. The boys are running the bank, right? WLFI. I really believe that World Liberty Financial, and I love studying history, so I feel that we're going pre 1907, where if you look at around the United States, everybody had their own currencies, right? This is kind of take it back there and then bring it to here. This is how I make my decisions. So we're going. Trump has taken us pre 1907, where we tariffed other countries. We had money back in our pockets. Our income was traded for real money. And now our income is traded for debt after 1913. But we're going pre-1907. He's tariffing other countries. We're going more decentralized. Everybody can have their own stable coin, right? And so that's what I see. I feel like, no pun intended, he trumped everybody with creating his own stable coin and then creating the Genius Act. Genius. He creates a Genius Act. And, so yeah, and then when it goes into the whole Clarity Act thing happening. But I don't think that people understand that every single bank is going to have a stable coin. It's going to be, we're all going to have choices. And so when I think of WFI, and again, I have no connection to them other than being an investor and believing in it. WFI is going to be one of the largest world banks because it's decentralized. I think he's dismantling the central bank. I think he's going to dismantle the Federal Reserve, and we're going to see a decentralized system where you and I can be the bank. And that's what I'm super excited about. So that would be my most speculative investment, but I'm always open and honest. It's my number 3 holding, and I'm stacking a lot of it every week.
Do you think that, and I have 2 questions for you. Do you think that Trump has done a good job in the year's time that he's been in office? Do you think he's done a good job with the economy?
I'm a venture capitalist. I have 6 companies. So from a venture capitalist perspective, yes. From a middle class, not understand what's going on, no. So because the unfortunate thing is you can give stimulus checks to the middle class all day. You can lower interest rates all day. It's not going to fix the middle class. The middle class is actually going to be in a worse position. And the wealthy are going to become extremely wealthy. Like we're becoming very wealthy in this economy. I'm just being very transparent. I've made more money in the last year with Trump being president based on the type of companies we run and the ecosystems we run. My worry is, and this is my passion, is that we need financial literacy. We don't need stimulus checks. It doesn't matter how much Jim Rohn said it. You give $1 million to every person in society, it's going to end up in the same 1%'s hands. So what we are going to see, in my opinion, so being a capitalist, running companies in America, I'm proud to be an American. I'm going to benefit greatly from this, and I'm being very transparent, but I don't think the middle class is going to. I think what's going to happen by 2028, going to 2029, the next president's going to run on high inflation. We're going to go back into hyperinflation. Assets are going to be expensive. The middle class is going to get wiped out. A lot of people don't even think about this. People complain about the stock market and crypto market, but only 10% of the population in America is in the markets, right? So everybody's complaining about that he's destroying the markets, but it's all the wealthy people that are in the markets, and everybody else is trying to survive. So gas prices have come down, food prices. We'll see. I think the tail will tell on the back end of this year what we're going to look at. I think the market's going to be extremely bullish this year, just based on tariffs, macroeconomics. That's why people like you and I were shouting from the mountaintops and trying to wake as many people up as possible that you have a collapsing US dollar in value. You have gold and silver at an all-time high. I mean, they're giving you all the green lights, man.
Exactly, right?
It's like Bitcoin, right? Larry Fink said it himself. If you're worried about the debasement of your country's currency, you might want to go into Bitcoin, when he told you it was a fraud since 2017.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now Jamie Dimon's a big fan too. So
yeah, it's how it always works, right? And so I'm just trying to bring it to reality for people. Like I wish I could say that it's always been this way though. Every 4-year cycle, it's the same story, man. It's like there's nobody coming to save us. No president's going to wake me up to work out. No president's going to go, take my income and invest it, right? So we have to make really good decisions right now. But you just also have to look at the big macroeconomic landscape, like the Clarity Act. It's a big deal, man. What's happening right now? I don't think people realize what is going to happen in 20 it's called the great mutation in 2026. We're moving from centralized to decentralized banking, external health to internal health, maha. They flipped the food pyramid upside down. Blind leadership, we're heading out of blind leadership to, hey, get your shit together, like manage your own finances. Like, we went from 18 years ago, you had to go into a broker. We can use Robinhood, Coinbase. It's a whole different world. And so I would like to say that everybody will do very well under the administration, but I just they will if they take advantage of what he's about to create.
It's the land of opportunity, right?
It is, man. It's American dream, man.
You know what it is? I think a lot of when you say that, right? There are people that will get off their ass and say, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yep.
And then there are others that are just like instant gratification.
Mhm.
I mean, this society pretty much is pretty lazy. I'm just
Very
being honest about it.
Yep,
I
yep,
see, it's kind of like people. I go to the gym.
yep.
I see people show up after the new year.
Mhm.
They go to the gym. They're done after 2 days because they don't see any aesthetic improvement, right? But yet, the first day at the gym, you're already getting improvement that you're not seeing outside.
Yep.
You're not gonna get you're not gonna get cubes and cuts immediately. I mean, it takes time.
Right, and
Be patient, right?
yeah, 100%. I mean, we're seeing the modern day Roman days, the Colosseum, and everybody's drunk in the Colosseum. It's like that's why pornography is free. Why do you think it's free? I mean, it's a distraction, man. It's like, everything freedom. This is what and I'm proud to be an American. I serve my country. I wear the flag proudly, man. I'm a
Thank you so much, by the way.
thank you. I live in America. I conceal carry. I live in Arizona. I conceal carry. Like I'm as American as you can get. But I'm also a realist around freedom. Often freedom is the greatest cage that was ever created for humanity, right? People need structure. They need discipline. And so what I try and encourage people is to get your shit together physically, spiritually, and financially. And that's not banking on a cryptocurrency going to a certain price. It's creating an ecosystem for your finances, right? And so, it starts with the physical health, like you said, working out every day, spiritual, whatever your spiritual walk is. I love God and Jesus Christ, whatever you pray to, do your thing. But I think everybody should have some sort of spiritual grounding. I think that's important as we transition. And then financially, it's no crypto is going to save you, man. My CFO says it the best. If you have bad habits at 30,000, you're going to be a wreck with $1 million. Trust me.
I agree with that. I agree with your CFO. I want to ask you one last question before you go.
Sure.
And I do definitely appreciate you coming on to the show.
Okay.
Hopefully come on to the podcast. Tell me more about the academy.
Oh, thank you for letting me share. Yeah, so 3T Warrior Academy it's basically a culmination of me and my evolution. So it started off a failed company. It failed 5 times. I started in 2017. The 5th time it finally started to work out and the pandemic shut us down. And so that's what evolved into the Warrior Academy. It was called 3T and it became the 3T Warrior Academy. They shut our business down and it evolved from being pissed, to be honest with you. I get emotional talking about it. They came into my business and they locked the doors next door. I left banking, entrepreneurial journey, finally made it. Alex Ramosi was one of my first coaches. I went through his program and I built my business. And I did everything I was supposed to do. And I was in what's called the vertical strategy. So in corporate America, went to school, got a job, 401k. Business, trading time for money, just bought an expensive job because I didn't scale and I had crypto. So then they take away the legs. They like took away the foundation. And I'm like, and I saw sitting there and I had to move back in with my parents. I'm very open with this. At 43 years old, I was like, what the hell is going on? I got pissed. And I was like, listen, no man or woman will ever come into my life again and take away my ability to take care of my family. So I studied. I was going through a lot happening, going through a divorce, all this stuff. And so outside of my kids, I went to the library and I studied everything I could about wealth. I came from banking. I didn't even understand how to make wealth. So they teach us in the world to trade income, our labor for income, and then get debt, right? So it completely robs our family's future. We're trading labor that we haven't even done for income. So then I started to create cash flow. So I took income, I created cash flow, and I created this ecosystem and I invented it. It's called Capital DR. And then I started talking about this stuff on YouTube. And it was very, very immature masculine back then. And I've matured through this. And so I built, first I had crypto, then I had my life insurance. And then I started building, I did what gurus say to do. I bought companies and cash flow. And then I realized I'm like, damn, dude, there's a I'm spending a lot of time away from my family. So I started buying dividends and then it evolved. And then we're an education platform. So we educate people on financial literacy, like what is income? What is cash flow? How do you build an ecosystem? What's offensive investing versus defensive investing? So it went from get your shit together physically and spiritually to a financial literacy company that's all over the world. We have 14,000 warriors worldwide, and we're expanding very rapidly. So thank you for letting me talk about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. I'd want to. I definitely would want to know more about the story. That
thank you.
when you gotta, that's what I'm talking about. Entrepreneur, like when people talk about themselves being entrepreneurs, I'm an entrepreneur. I know how tough it is. Like for the next 3 to 5 years, you're all alone, and like nobody's saying yes to you, man. And you're going at it by yourself. So
Yeah, I lost everything
credit for it.
twice in the process. It was like people, yeah, people, but it's so worth it though. It's so
It
worth it.
is.
Once you get on the other side, I always say my goal, and I think I speak to a lot of men. I have a coach program for men. I speak to their hearts, and I said, your role as a man. So put yourself in a, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Is put yourself in a position, turning your income into cash flow, so no other man ever tells you what to do with your time, your words, your family. I mean, it's a very big passion for me, and that should be our motivation to get wealthy, not for Lambos, not for watches, not for houses, but for freedom. And that's true freedom.
There we go, Coach.
Mm.
I appreciate you. I got a round of applause. That's dope. Uh, I'm glad that you're killing it now, and I hope to get you on the podcast one on one for a few hours so we can go ahead and chop it up and
That'd
definitely talk about the dollar and
be,
obviously how you got to where you are now.
thank you. That's my jam, man. That's my specialty. So, yeah, well, I love you, brother, and I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Blessings, man.
Thank you.
That was J. Go check out Coach JV, man. I'm gonna put the links down there. You guys can go ahead and check him out. I've been waiting. I was waiting for a while to get Coach on here. I watched a lot of his stuff. We'll go right to, there's certain people that you want right on a podcast because like you just want to talk for 4 or 5 hours. That's one of them. That's one of the people. 100%. We'll be right back after this commercial break. I'll put down the links, by the way. The staff will put down the links and all that good stuff. So you can, by the way, if you didn't catch it just now, I'll make sure to go ahead and clip it up as always. And this show was brought to you by Gemini.com/David G. Go to Gemini's lineup of credit cards issued by WebBank. Again, Gemini.com/David G. For more on the credit cards that are issued by WebBank. You got the Gemini Bitcoin credit card, you got the Solana credit card, and the XRP credit card. Go check it out. We'll be back in 30. Welcome back to the breakdown. I want to thank, obviously, I want to thank Coach JV for coming on. It's hard to get a lot of people on. I get it because I'm busy as fuck myself. So it's hard to get people on. People are doing a lot of things. But I'm glad that Coach had the time to join us today. And you know what? I will, because we are doing this podcast and I'm already taping things with people. And once the shit comes out, I think people will thoroughly enjoy it, especially that I'll get more time to sit one on one with people and talk about, you know, I get to range and talk about different topics, not just crypto, life. Like JV was on here, he was talking about God, he was talking about religion in general, he was talking about money and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. And that's what I like to go ahead and speak about. That's what I love fucking talking about, you know? Love the fact that he came on here and said, "Hey, man, I had to move back in with my parents at 43. I had to move back in with my parents." Easily, you easily could have given up. Could have easily given up. But he kept on moving, man. Kept on moving. Kept on believing. And that's what it, I feel like, I honestly feel this. I feel like God does give you like the hardest fucking challenge at the right before you're about to elevate. Like he gives you like one of the most, I guess I would call it like he tests you one more time. Like I really do believe God is, he sees you're about to win, or he knows essentially that you're about to win, but he needs to challenge you one more time to make sure you're about that life. I really feel that way. And you can't get mad at God. Like it's crazy. People get mad at, oh my God, I'm so disappointed. How, why me? Why me? Stop the why me shit, man. Stop the why me shit. God's gonna test you, man. God is going to test you. God is 100% going to test you. A lot of people cry, why? It's not fair. Why did it happen to me? Why me? Because God knew he can do it to you. Hey, this is coming from me though, okay? I feel like God knows he can put the burden on you because you're strong enough to rise from it. I believe that. I believe that to be true. Somebody asked me, or somebody asked the crowd. I was at an event, and somebody asked, "Why Moses? Like, why did God choose Moses?" We'll go into religion real quick, and then we'll go right into politics and stuff like that. But they asked, "Why Moses? Why Moses?" And they repeated this. This question was repeated, "Why Moses?" And I just yelled. I usually I usually just sit and mind my business, but I yelled out, I said, because he was broken. That's why God chose Moses, because he was broken. And they were like, what do you mean? And I got heckled a little bit. I got booed a little bit. I said, because Aaron was the perfect choice, right? Moses' brother Aaron was the perfect choice, right? He was already a leader, right? He didn't need fixing. Aaron was a leader already. Moses Moses had a speech impediment. Like Moses had a lot of problems. A lot of problems. And he wasn't seeking anything. Moses, when he ran away from Egypt, he wasn't really seeking anything. That's why God picked him. He was broken. And God usually puts his hand on broken people, man. I don't know. And delivers his messages from by using broken people. I believe that to be true. And specifically on when it comes to that topic, Moses. I tried to explain it, but I got booed out the goddamn place. I'm not gonna even get into it, but it is what it is. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 652. Who would have thought 652 episodes officially? Unofficially, it's definitely over 1,000 and change. All right. But it's good to talk about religion. There's nothing wrong with talking about religion. Understand what entrepreneurship really is before you go ahead and put it into your bios. I always say this. A lot of people put entrepreneur into their bio. You have no idea what it is to be an entrepreneur, how much suffering you have to go through, how many, essentially, you see everybody for who they are. Like some of your friends that you thought were friends are no longer your friends. They won't help you. Doors are closed in your face. A lot of no's. Lonely place. You have no vacation. There is no vacation. 24/7. You're hustling. Okay? You are hustling. There is no vacation. There is no time out. You don't even have a chance to breathe. Okay? That's what an entrepreneur goes through. That's why when I see people acting as if they are entrepreneurs, I can tell who is an entrepreneur and who's not immediately by having the conversation. I think everybody should take advantage of everything that we have here in the United States of America. I think everybody should try, but you're either, you should try to be an entrepreneur, but you're either born with it or you're not. This generation is absolutely limp wrist. You know how I feel about that. This generation 100% is absolutely limp wrist. They don't stand while they pee. There's absolutely no signs of males standing while they pee. No. It doesn't happen. Not in this society. Not in this society. Anyway, politics. Trump, let's talk about our boy Trump. Let's talk about, and I say our boy Trump, and a lot of you guys despise him. Okay, no problem. We can have that conversation. I think what Trump is doing, him along with the administration, they're playing chess. 100%. 100%. Like if you sit back and you look at everything that's happening, they are 100% exposing who their real friends and allies are. If you're an American, I want to know as an American who our allies really are. And he's going after China. He's not going after, by the way, he's not going after Russia. He is going after China. If you look at everything that Trump has done, it has been a smack towards China. Think about it. Greenland, China. Venezuela, China, because China was doing business there. Okay, China invested $100 billion there. Everything Trump has done ever since getting back into office is to go after China. Not Russia, but China. Panama. China. I'm telling you, he's going after China. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can't trust the Chinese. Respectfully, China, you can't trust them. I didn't say anything bad. It's the truth. And to see our brothers up in the north, the Canadians, and this is not towards the Canadian people. There are very good Canadians out there. But you have Carney. This man, rather than sit down and have negotiations with the country that buys 80% of your shit, that contributes 80% to your GDP, you're playing this game, you're gonna lose this game. You can't trust dictate. What are you talking about? I can't believe, where are all the liberals? Why aren't the liberals all up in arms? You guys talk about dictators and communism. Well, a lot of you guys are starting to love socialism and you've never lived it. So maybe I should put that to the side. But just you're out here with your pom-poms for China who's known for slave labor, their disrespect towards other cultures, I should say religions, you're okay with that though. You are absolutely fine with all this stuff. As long, and this is why if you just sit back and you take off your blinders and you put away your affiliations, whether Democrat or Republican, you just look straight for a second. Just look at everything, you would understand. It's bottom line. How don't you see what's happening? Why don't you see what's happening? I don't understand it. China's nobody's friend except its own. China's not going to buy anything from Canada. And who's going to protect Canada? The United States of America has done a hell of a job protecting you guys. Look at the ungrateful EU over there. We don't need NATO. We don't. We don't need NATO. And maybe, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing that Trump is giving a wake-up call to the European Union to finally get off their asses and look at the situations that are happening in their countries. Maybe it's a good thing. You know, Trump said something, whether you like him or not, it is true. We have given every country everything. We have literally given every country everything. And so he was talking about this, about Greenland, and for instance, on this one. It's like, all we're asking is for Greenland. Obviously, Trump wants to go there and the United States will make money on Greenland. But at the end of the day, it's also for security reasons. And I know I'm going to get hit with, but we can already place, we already have bases over there. But hold on for a second. It's all American bases. You know, it's funny that the Danish own Greenland, but they have nothing there. They said that they committed, or they would commit $200 billion to Greenland. They have committed shit to Greenland. Yet we're protecting the goddamn fucking landmass. And it's closer to us. If you guys want, and I agree with Trump on this, if you guys want this protection that the United States has continued to give NATO and its allies, if you want all this protection, then allow us to build out. Now, also at the same token, I want to say this. I also think that the people of Greenland should also decide. I really do. Like, this is one thing where I will say that I'd like to see the people of Greenland decide where they want to be. And I think most of them will probably, if allowed to, which would be fair, would probably decide that they want to be with the United States of America. And if we do, and they should, you know, every person in Greenland should get $100 grand. And there's no doubt about it. I know for a fact that Greenland is going to be a part of the United States of America because the Danish are going to take $700 billion. The European Union is going to take the $700 billion. They need money. It's simple. It's simple. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 652. Guys, we're going to integrate, like I said, we're going to integrate prediction markets into the show and into the podcast, okay? Two things that obviously I have in the works, which is the show, and then we have the podcast. And I want to integrate, by February, we will have prediction markets, which I think are phenomenal, the new asset class. See, like if I have prediction markets set up right now, we can go ahead and set up a little poll to see whether or not or the United States of America will own Greenland by said date. I don't know. I would have to figure. I don't know if I don't know what TikTok allows. I don't know what TikTok allows anymore. People are trying to guess. People are like, yo, which sponsorship is it? Hey, listen. All I gotta say is this: prediction markets are phenomenal. They're a new asset class. They're better than NFTs. And don't take my words out of context. NFTs are great and they will be great, not from the picture end of it, but NFT tech will be great, especially when it comes to real estate. I've said this for years. The entry point for NFTs was the JPEGs, but moving forward, you will see NFT tech being used just like Alfa Romeo used it to embed it into its vehicles. You will see real estate dominate the world with NFTs. And it'll be good. You know, imagine you can get all the titling done within minutes and not months. These are good things. We have a lot of things here in this ecosystem that we have yet to really work on. We do have people trying to level shit up, but it's not fast enough. It should be as fast as AI hit. That has been my biggest problem, that AI has really leveled up really fast. And the crypto ecosystem has taken time. Everything within this ecosystem has taken a lot of time. So I like to see this process speed up a little bit. I would. I really would. By the way, we will have more moderators in the TikTok channel. That's right. More moderators will be added into the TikTok channel to help Tech, who is the lead moderator on TikTok. So shout out Tech for coming up and showing up. We're going to go ahead and make more moderators or give access to people to become moderators on my lives on TikTok. By the way, TikTok has been great to me. Think about this. I'm a loudmouth son of a bitch, and you guys know that. I say what I say, and I have no regrets about saying anything I say. And TikTok is a place of you can't even breathe on TikTok. But the people have been warm and kind. The people have been warm and kind. And I respect, honestly, I have a newfound respect for moderators. Okay? Especially on TikTok. I have a newfound respect for moderators. I almost feel like I came on TikTok like Trump. I really feel like I came onto TikTok like Trump. And the people were a little bit shocked. They were a little bit shocked by my arrival. They were confused. Moderators were calling for emergency sessions to figure out who the fuck am I? How do we go about containing this guy? They were passing impeachment bills in TikTok. I'm telling you, man. I am telling you. It wasn't working in my... At first, either you loved me or you hated me on TikTok. I'm telling you. I was getting jumped. Emergency meetings were going off. Head moderators. Milkshake 28 was holding emergency meetings with the entire crew. Look, I didn't go on TikTok for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. As soon as I came back on, people were like, thank God, because this place is boring. Nobody got this energy. They're like, this shit is boring. This place is boring without you, DG. We need you, man. We need your energy. At least if the markets are going to go down, at least we're going to have somebody who's alive talking about crypto. Now I got my family on Twitter and TikTok. Twitter's already used to me. TikTok's already, Twitter's already used to me, man. They know I'm a nut job and that I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't give a flying fuck. You know what? I kind of think of that, man. I think I rattle people the way that Trump does. Seriously, when I come on to the scene, I don't do it on purpose. I don't really do it on purpose. Anyway, it was good to have Coach on today. JV is a cool dude. We've been trying to set that up for a while. The team has been trying to set that up for a while now. Glad that he showed up. I know he was busy. It's cool. Venture capital. He's an XRP. All you guys love XRP. He has Bitcoin. XRP army attacked him. That's crazy. You guys attack JV for getting Bitcoin. That is crazy. I'm telling you guys, you can't play this game like a sporting event. You got to diversify. Not just in crypto. You got to get outside and you got to get into the stock market. You got to get into buying real estate, passive income. You got to do a lot of things. You got to do a lot of things. And by the way, a lot of you guys need to work out. I've been watching some of your videos. Guys, you're either anorexic or you're obese, okay? You got to start working out either way. The levels of test are very low. T levels are low. If you're going to represent for crypto, okay, I am tired of going to events and seeing low test individuals. You would not be offended by anything that I say if your T levels were high. Do you understand that? If you worked out, if you ate right, if you weren't so goddamn underweight or overweight, you would not get upset. You would not get upset by anything I have to say. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 652, man. I don't know what to say about Trump. I like Trump, but every single time he mentions the word tariff, the markets go to ass. Okay, and now we're waiting on the Supreme Court Friday. Apparently, Friday they will rule on whether or not the tariffs will be able to stay in place. If not, people are already running around not knowing anything about how tariffs work. So like, oh, how are we going to do that? They're going to right away shoot off 10% tariffs. They already told you exactly what the game plan is. So the market, I'm telling you right now, the market is going to get spooked for the first 2 to 3 hours. And then it's going to start flying up again. That's it. That's what's going to happen. This Friday, apparently, we're supposed to hear whether or not the Supreme Court will rule in Trump's favor, and they should rule in Trump's favor. Listen, say what you want. Inflation's down. Gas prices are down. Milk's down. Eggs down. It's been a year. Trump wants to send out $2,000 tariffs without any Congress approval. Eric says, I need anger management. Why do I need anger? I'm not angry. You get this confused. I'm not angry. I am not angry. I am passionate. That passion gets confused for anger because when you're passionate about something, you light up. And I light up anytime I'm passionate about anything. Never angry. Why would I be angry? What is there to be angry about? What is there to be? You're alive today. You are alive. God has granted you the ability to get out of bed today. I want you to understand that real quick. You're not guaranteed shit. You got out of bed today. God extended your contract. God is an accept. Oh my God! I was about to say something ruthless. I seen something in the chat. I was about to say something ruthless, but nope. No. As you get older, nope. Sometimes you hold back. My teeth are amazingly white. Thank you very much. I take care of myself. By the way, if you'd like white teeth, I suggest going into the bathroom and brushing them. I would suggest brushing your teeth. Anyway, the breakdown, episode 652, sponsored by Gemini. All right. What are we looking at? What are we looking to get into? What are we getting into, ladies and gentlemen? What should we be talking about on Friday? I said every week we will talk about one asset. And maybe I can get the team on or a passionate individual on about a certain asset that we can go ahead and talk about. I have no problem bringing on an XRP person, XLM, HBAR, XDC, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. Oh my God. You want me to bring on Serge? I can bring on Sergey. I can bring him on. Who knows if he's coming on or not? Maybe it's maybe I have something in with Chainlink. Maybe we're working something up with Chainlink. I don't know. Maybe I got something I told you we're gonna cook. 2026, we'll have a lot of really good guests on. January has been a weird month. I got to tell you, a lot of people, I try to be transparent as possible. A lot of people have rescheduled to February and March, which is cool. No problem. Because I get to kind of like bring in other people that I actually wanted to speak to and they're available. But a lot of people have chosen to go February and March, which is great. Good. Now I'm booked out until May. I'm fine with that. I'm personally fine with that. I don't look XRP. Guys, if most of you guys are not even in it for the tech, man. So if you're in it for the money, go get your money. You don't really give a fuck if it's a scam or not. I'm not calling it a scam. All I'm saying is you don't give a fuck what it's going to do. You don't give a fuck about XRPL. You don't give a shit about the partnerships, okay? You don't give a fuck about SBI, and you don't know who SBI is, okay? You're confused with FBI and shit. So go get your money. Go get your money. I'm telling you, just do your thing, man. You're too concerned. Listen, I gotta say this. I respect, even though I really disagree with maxis, I respect Bitcoin maxis. You know why? Without Bitcoin maxis, you don't have Bitcoin. Without XRP army members or maxis, you don't have people diving into XRP. So you gotta respect them from the standpoint that the toxicity helps. Okay? The toxicity does kind of help. But you have to have people that can explain these protocols. You have to have people that explain how all this shit works. You have to have that. You have to have that. You have to have shit explained in layman's terms. You guys go into code right away. I keep telling you this. The mistake that a lot of people make, these influencers make, well, the influencers are not that smart. So let me not say like they're smart as hell and shit like that. Let me not go ahead and go crazy. What do you mean? I hold XRP. I have Bitcoin. Like I have a ton of assets. I'm not, this is not a sporting event. This is not, oh, I'm just gonna have XRP and nothing else. No, like you should have Bitcoin, you should have Ethereum, you should have XRP, BNB, like you should have Chainlink, you should have Aave. Like I can name it all out. I can name it all out. You should have, especially right now. ISO, I'm telling you, the ISO tokens or coins, they will fly because if XRP goes, everything else would follow. Privacy tokens. Privacy tokens are going to do well. I think Midnight is going to do phenomenal. Midnight is going to do great. A lot of people are sleeping on Midnight. I got to tell you. Maybe I'm going to dive deeper into Midnight. Anyway. Let's go to the quote of the day. Let's go to the quote of the day. You know what I want to do? I want to do a live stream on TikTok after this. I want to do just a pop-up live stream. Okay, I just want to do a pop-up live stream. I know I'm going to drive a lot of people insane right now. Moderators are calling a special meeting. They're getting prepared. Do I think there'll be a pump? No, I think what'll happen is somebody just asked me a question about whether or not we'll have a pump by the end of the month. I think starting in February, I think that's when we'll see some really good positive movement. Might happen a little bit earlier, who knows, but I think February, I think we start seeing some positive movement. Again, Q1 2026, I said that we will start seeing us move upwards. I truly believe that. I believe every single sector within the crypto system, ecosystem will do very well. 100%. Let me go ahead and tell you what the quote of the day is. Let's go right to the quote of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The quote of the day. I love you guys. I love you guys for all the support. Love you. I gotta say though, TikTok is. I need I need Twitter to start bringing their game, man. I need Twitter to start bringing their game. All right, let's do this. The ones who never take risks will always question the ones who do. They call it luck because they don't have the courage to call it discipline. They call it crazy because they've never committed to anything long enough to see results. Don't let their fear distract you from your grind. Don't let their doubt become your delay. People who play it safe will never understand the mindset it takes to build something from nothing. Keep building and let the results answer every question for you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the quote of the day. We'll be back with episode 653 tomorrow with another special guest. So stay tuned. By the way, TikTok, if you want to see me interview one of your favorite notable influencers within the crypto ecosystem, let me know. Send me a DM. I'll answer. We'll have more moderators for the live chats. By the way, shout out to TikTok and the moderators, especially Tech. Tech, who moderates my chat, he keeps it organized. And by the way, I embrace the hate. We will never, and I will never kick out anybody who hates on me. I want more haters. Fans, sometimes show up, sometimes they, haters are like diehard sports fans. I want you. I want you a part of my life. I want you a part of my life and lives. I want you a part of my lives. No pun. No pun intended. Everybody. Uh-oh! What is this? I got alerted. Bella Star 53 on TikTok. She is getting the troops together. She's calling in the National Guard of TikTok. She's calling the ICE of TikTok in. They are holding a meeting outside the Capitol right now. I thought I was muted for a second. They are leading. Yo. You know, that's right, man. Before I ended the show with a goddamn quote that was phenomenal. But I do need more haters. What is happening? My haters are becoming my friends, and I'm starting to be friendly with them. This sucks. I need more people hating me. I need more hate. I hate this kumbaya shit. I always say this, though. 6 weeks in, you start getting used to my personality because this is me. I'm real, man. I'm real. This is passion. You like it. You love it. Everybody else is boring. Go ahead. Can you find somebody on this app that's like me? You know you watch these streams, not mine, but other streams, and you're falling asleep. You're listening to these people. They're like, okay, let me tell you this is what's happening. And it's so fucking boring and dry, bro. Come on, man. It's so boring. At least this is entertainment. We're making finance great again. We're making it fun again. And I'm gonna say this again before I leave. I know crypto. I'm handsome. I am handsome. You got that's one thing the haters can't do, right? You know, usually the haters will attack the looks first, right? First, the haters attack the looks. They can't attack me. I'm like a Greek god. How are they going to attack me? How are you going to attack a Greek god? So now the hater looks and they're like, I can't attack him. He's way too good looking. I can't say he's cross-sided or he got his hairlines receding or he's going gray or something. You can't even say that. You can't say it. So now you're fucked. As a hater, you're fucked on that position. Now if you try to question my intellect, my IQ, you can't. Because I know blockchain, I know crypto, I know politics. I could talk about sports. That fucks you up completely. So what did Bella Star do when she first met me? She goes, well, you didn't get 200,000 hearts. You didn't get 200,000 hearts. And yeah, what are they gonna say? I'm only 5'10"? Boo-hoo, so what? My 5'10" ass will steal your girl. You better keep your girl away from these streams. Should have you calling you David while you're in the room. You know what I'm saying? Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Let me shut up because I'm mogging you bitches. I'm better than you on my worst day. And who knows, 10 years from now, I will be the next president of the United States of America. Can you imagine? Me. Hey, prediction markets, put that shit up. Will David Gokhshtein be the next president of the United States of America 10 years from now? Yo, this is easy money because I'm going to win landslide. Landslide! Go ahead. Put that up on the prediction market. Somebody. Put that up there. Will David Gokhshtein be the next president? Absolutely. You imagine me. I come into a room. What's going on? What's the problem? What's the problem, China? What are we looking at here? I'm hearing rumors that you're trying to go ahead and do some shady shit with America. What's the trouble? You imagine China versus, would you say, I come right rolling up in there, would you say, did you say that you're going to do some shady shit? You're going to fly your little balloons, your spy balloons across America? I dare you. I dare you. And Russia? Russia? Иди сюда! Иди сюда! Иди сюда! Sats! Давай поговорим! Давай поговорим! Что мы тут делаем, а? Что мы тут делаем, Putin? Not in my America. No. Zelensky, Putin, you're ending this war. Прямо сейчас you're ending this war. Because I'm the president of the United States. And what I say you do. And then I'll roll up in Europe and visit the EU. I'd visit the EU and be like, hey, I ain't paying 68% for defense anymore. Your ass is paying. I'm sending all your asses invoices. And you're going to be using American stable coins. That's right. You will be using American-based stable coins. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope that you guys have fun today. There's only like 3 or 4 or 5 people on here that won't put you to sleep, but the rest of them, when you tune into them, it's like PBS. And I'm not talking the Bob Ross type. It's like tuning into AM radio and shit. I will create a TikTok shop, by the way. And the merch store will have all the beard oil, the awesome shampoos, skincare routines. Maybe I'll get a deal with with Crest for teeth whitening and toothpaste. Look at me. I'm the best example that you can have. Or maybe I go on TikTok shop. I don't know. We'll see what the fuck I do. A lot of you influencers, you suck at crypto. You should be selling things in the TikTok store. Flashlights. Sell a flashlight. Or a garden hose or some shit. I'd buy one from you. Make crypto great again. Make crypto great again. Guys, I love you. Appreciate you tuning in. On that note, I'm out.